Hey guys, that's Race Legends. Welcome to the video. Sending some love, some positive vibes your way, especially if you need them out there today. Speaking of positivity, guys, just want to thank you again. If you didn't see it on my community tab post, first of all, shame on you for not sitting there and refreshing my community tab post 24/7. I talked about my son going into surgery, how I was kind of a nervous Nelly about the whole thing, and I really appreciate the kind comments. Seriously, he went through it. He's actually in the background right now, recovering. How you doing, bub? I got a big thumbs up. Got a big thumbs up. Not really talking right now, but it's been a tough recovery, honestly. But I appreciate you guys. What I'm trying to say. Thank you so much, guys. Seriously, it did mean a lot. It really did to see those comforting comments. I think it was kind of sometimes when you share things like that, even if it's on YouTube, it's just like you're just kind of subconsciously asking for a little support, and you guys gave that. A lot of you guys, I appreciate it. Today I was thinking about power creep in the game. It's not a complaint video or rant video, it's far from it. I think in a game like this, inevitably there's going to be power creep because there's going to be new areas of the game that are added over time, and they're going to have better rewards. They're going to be more difficult, thus everything gets crept up, right? What we used to find hard in the game, I mean, this game, I actually mentioned this somewhat recently in another video, but when I started playing this game, they were level 15. It just went to level 15 normal in dungeons, right? And then they brought it to level 20, and they brought it to level 25, and then they added hard mode, and then it went to level 10, and then since then, it's been basically extinct, right? It's been power crept all dungeons to begin with, right? So I digress, not here to talk about dungeon power creep, so to speak, but just as an example, right? Things get harder and you get better stuff in this game, like we see in every game in the genre. So the most recent example of this, which I really haven't seen that many people talk about, is in the Faction Wars. Faction Wars hard mode. I've been chugging along here. I'm at 930 out of 945 stars right now. I've been focusing on it every day, but also if I have something going on in real life, I'll just skip the day. I'm not like, you know, I'm not making it my #1 goal to be the first in the world with Polara or anything like that. There already are players with Polara right now, but I say that to say that now these glyphs, right? It's been a huge game changer. I know we're playing in the margins, and especially when I was a new player in this game, I didn't recognize, you know, a speed glyph at 6 versus a speed glyph at 8. How impactful that was, right? Like how much min-maxing accounts is a thing in games like this and genres like this. This was my first experience in the genre playing Raid back in 2019, right? So it's big. It's big having especially the speed, but really all the stats. So what I've been doing is I've been hoarding all my material to make today's video, right? I figured we could use it together and really see what kind of an impact does these extra legendary and epic haste glyphs make on my fastest champions, my best gear. Along the way as well, I'll show, especially for even newer players who aren't going to have to worry about Faction Wars hard mode or anything like that right now, I'll also show kind of my strategy when it comes to approaching which gear to use my best glyphs on. So even if you're just working on 6-star glyphs and Faction War normal, 5-star glyphs, whatever, I'll give you kind of how to filter your gear, how to look at your gear without using any third-party tools or applications or websites, which by the way are all great, but I want to kind of be basic here and just use the actual game itself. All right, before we get to any of that, because I've been hoarding stuff, I'll show you what my bounty is, by the way. How many haste glyphs did I get, right? How many of these 6-star legendaries do I have on my account? I do want to give a caveat though. I've used a couple 6-star legendary defense and HP glyphs already. I've used one 6-star haste glyph legendary, and I've used 1-star epic, 6-star epic glyph. So I've used a few, but for the most part, I've hoarded. Speaking of hoarding, man, I've been waiting for this one. You know how it is, right? On your account, you save up, you save up 100 epic mats for the forge, for the relic forge, you get kind of excited, right? You save up 4 legendaries, you're like, okay, it could happen. Could get a mythical, could get whatever, could get a legendary, I guess, right? Oh, who am I kidding? We probably wouldn't get a mythical out of 4 legendaries, but I've saved up 4 mythical mats from Faction Wars. It's a 20% chance for a mythical relic, 80% chance for a legendary relic, and I've been waiting for just the right moment to use them. Could I get a mythical relic right before your very eyes? All right, let's see. I don't know. Boom, craft it, baby. Give me the mythical. Ah, we got a mythical. Oh my God, you guys are good luck. The Torch of Thraldom. Where has their stats increased by 1% per each ally from the same faction? Man, there's a lot of mythical relics I would have liked better than this one, but I'm not going to complain about a mythical relic. No speed on their HP, defense, and attack. Where has their stats increased by 1% per each ally from the same faction? How do we feel about this? Sell. Yeah, right. Let me just, okay, we're going to get to the glyphs in a moment here. I'll timestamp for you guys as well, but hopefully this should be interesting for you guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. I can't believe I actually got a mythical, man. Like, I don't even care what it is. The fact that I got it is pretty cool. First thing I want to see is how it scales here. Let me move to the other side of the screen. All right, guys, so the scalability on this bad boy, we go from 1% stat bonus to a 2% after 2 levels. Not bad. 2.5 after level 4. After level 5, we get it all the way to 3.5. Okay, so we get, you know, God knows we're never going to get it to level 6, so let's not worry about that. So overall, how do we feel about, and obviously 4 slots for gemstones, how do we feel about this bad boy? I think it's a great relic. Obviously, it's just OP busted on Unity champions, right? I don't have a lot of the best, right? I don't have Teox, I don't have Volcanos. So I'm trying to think of who I would use it on. Of course, I think immediately Arena right now, because that's what I'm focused on. Primarily, I'm gonna push like semi-hard on the next live Arena season, which is I think today by the time this video goes live. So anyway, I'll shut up about it, but what do you guys rank this? I'd probably give it I was going to say S tier. It just depends. It just depends. Even if you can sneak it with just one ally on the team, it's still a significant stat boost, right? Significant stat boost. And I'm assuming it applies to speed as well. So it could be pretty busted even in a limited fashion, excuse me. All right, anyway, I'll shut up about the relic. Man, I was unexpected though, unexpected. I think it's probably S tier, but you could probably say that about most of the mythical relics. Anyway, I digress. Cool though. All right, let's talk about glyphs, guys. So what do I have? What is my bounty from all of my time here in Faction Wars? What I actually want to do is, and this is a good kind of first step for anybody out there, when we look at speed, haste glyphs. Haste glyphs are one of the most valuable things in all of Raid Shadow Legends. Like, bar none. If you see a haste glyph in a tournament, in an event, whatever, right? In haste glyphs in like Doom Tower, I use all of my Doom Tower normal, right? I just want to give me 1 minute on the value of haste glyphs. They don't sell them, by the way. This is why they're so valuable, right? They don't sell haste glyphs. They don't sell glyphs. They did one time for a very short limited period of time way back in the day, and they haven't done it since. This is years and years ago, but I remember buying once and like 3 or 4 years ago, I remember buying a haste glyph package and thinking, oh no, they've done it, they've added it, and they never did it since. This is why haste glyphs are so important. I farm my normal Doom Tower. There's no reason to do this except for one of these stages. I forget which one. I guess there is a reason. It's free, and all this stuff is free, to be fair, right? But there's haste glyphs here, right? So I use my normal, even though I can easily clear, obviously, hard mode, I'm still using my normal. Same thing in Curse City, right? Of course, I'm going to go out, and I'm going to go through, and I'm going to finish hard. But in normal, there's a lot. There's actually a couple areas. There are these, like the Awakened stages, excuse me, where you can get haste glyphs. If you're going to prioritize anything in this game, you should try to get haste glyphs where it's not going to cost you any energy, and that's Doom Tower normal and also Centrano's normal. Okay, they're very valuable, right? This is where we play in the margins. This is where we min-max our champions vis-a-vis glyphs, haste glyphs, speed. Every bit counts, but you have to be very careful with them, right? You don't want to screw up and put a really good haste glyph, which are very hard to get, on a piece of gear that you don't really need to use it on, or you shouldn't use it on. So when you're using your haste glyphs, and the same thing goes for any of your high rarity glyphs, you want to think more about gear, less about champions. Because you can move gear around. Going to cost you an arm and a leg, but you can move your gear around. But you shouldn't just go to your favorite champion and say, okay, I'm going to use it all on that champion, put it on their gear, without evaluating your gear in totality on your account, right? So, sorry if some of this is very basic for players, but I want to go over kind of the fundamentals as well. Think gear, not champions. So the first thing you want to think about is your banners, right? So we'll start with accessories, and then we'll move to regular gear. So look at your banners, and all you got to do is go to the filter, go to equipped, go to your banner. Priority stat is going to be speed all the way to high, nothing else. And then you come all the way down, and you go hide set filters, okay? Now we want to look at the fastest banners on my account, right? Specifically for an endgame account, we want to try to identify everything that we have quad speed rolls. This includes mythical gear that has a trip speed roll on it. You might not have any, and that's totally cool. Just take it 1 notch down. Where do I have a trip roll on my account, right? Or where do I have a double roll on a mythical speed, right? So again, barbarians, what is my fastest piece? It's not that fast, honestly. It's good, but for an endgame account, right? Now, since we hid the set filters, everything's combined here, right? So I have like a feral piece over here. Everything's combined. It's the UI is still not where it needs to be, in my opinion, in terms of especially the artifact kind of organization and presentation in the game. Knight's Revenant. Well, I know I have probably my best banner, or one of my best on my account right here. It's a quad plus the mythical right here, right? The quint roll, is that the terminology here? Okay, we want to make a mental note. This is a very, very good piece, Knight's Revenant. And then the next thing we want to think of is make a mental note. Who would be on my account the best Knight's Revenant champion to wear that? Like, that's the next question you can ask. But first, you got to identify your gear. I'll go take a look at the second fastest too, just to know what I'm working with, right? We have another quad one here. And what you can do too is just kind of cheat, so you don't have to keep doing the math. Just kind of select a random champion, and you can go, okay, plus 12. Plus 6 is my next best, right? Plus 19. Oh my God. So you can just kind of use that as a quick litmus test, Plus 11, just to know like what faction has your fastest speed. Plus 10 over here in Lizardmen. Now, who's wearing this? Lazarius. Lazarius is right now on my account my fastest champion. So I just want to make a mental note. This is my best Lizardman, and he's my fastest champion. So with a 6 roll, now that we have glyphs that can go up to 12 speed, this could be huge. Mental note, might want to end up using one of my best legendary haste glyphs on this banner right here, okay? Orcs, trip with a plus 8, okay? Plus 7 over here. Again, a little indicator. Plus 7 over here. Dark elves, not doing so well. High elves, not doing so well. Plus 7, my fastest piece. Plus 5 in dwarfs. I have nothing good in dwarfs. Plus 5 in shadowkin, the same thing. And then plus 5 again in Sylvan Watchers. Demon Spawn, plus 5. Banner Lords, plus 4. When I got to Sylvan Watchers, I thought we were done because I'm so used to the index. Skinwalkers, plus 3. Ogun Tribe, plus 2. Okay, that's it. You can see a good indicator. We have some factions like Ogren that I only have plus 2 speed, right? Basically 25 total speed. And then we have other factions like Knight's Revenant, where I got the discrepancy here, an amazing 19 speed. 19, that's 42 speed on this banner. So I say all this, right, to make a point, When you're thinking about your speed boosters, your lockout champions, mainly speed boosters, right, champions that you want to be very fast, the first thing you should ask yourself, because you might have a lot of options. You might have Lysandra, you might have Arbiter, you might have Shu Zhen, you might have a lot of options on your account. You want to first look at your banners and look at who you have that you want to build fast in those factions that you have your best speed banners. All right, that's out of the way. Now we can take a look at what we actually have on my account. The glyphs. What did I get from getting to the final stage in most of the new faction wars? Okay, guys, so now we can do the same exact thing for our artifacts. Hide set filters. We sort by speed. We're in now our artifact section. We want to remove the boots, so we'll pick everything else on the account except for the boots, because we already know we have a bunch of max speeds with the Ascension on the boots, so there's nothing more to do there. We can't get speed as a substat. However, I will say there might be some sneaky boots sitting around on my account that I still want with really good speed glyphs that have attack percentage or defense or HP percentage as the main stat, so I want to be aware, at least cognizant of those artifacts on my account as well when we filter out the boots. So it's another exercise that you guys can do just to identify what you're working with on your account. This is why hellhades.com and the third-party apps really help you out in terms of gear organization. The fastest stuff that I have on my account here, you can see, wow, I didn't even realize this is my fastest piece of gear outside of boots here. So we can take a look at all the stuff that we have, right? We have a quad. We have essentially a quad roll here, 36 speed on a weapon. We have a quad roll here, plus 8. So now that I'm sorting out my fastest gear, what I'm looking for is really anything that's like a 5 or a 6 on a glyph roll, and then we can get a better roll. We can upgrade our fastest gear. Now, obviously, I don't want to use everything I have because the odds are I'm going to get some really good gear in the future too, so I don't want to just burn everything. but I've been playing for a long time. It took me a long time to get gear this good. So, generally I'm pretty safe in terms of the min-maxing, upgrading. I just want to get the best bang for my buck, meaning, again, I'm not going to come here, and by the way, this is what I have. I've been teasing what I've actually gotten here. I don't want to come here and use a legendary speed glyph from on an 8. I could get worse than an 8, or I could get the same as 8, right? So I'm looking for the best bang for my buck. I'm looking for a 5 or a 6 again, so I can get that big upgrade on a really good piece of gear. And we also want to factor in the set. Divine Speed, inherently very good for speed glyphs and speed gear because it's part of a speed set. So I'm looking at speed, I'm looking at divine speed, I'm looking at righteous and supersonic and, the most popular speed gear out there in the game. I have 2 legendary resistance. These are my Faction Wars, my bounty here for my Faction Wars hard activities. We have a couple attack flat stats, joy. And you guys can see the bonuses here. They're just huge. They're huge. This power creep is huge. And the speed, 7 to 12 on the legendaries. I have 5 epics, 5 to 10, 5 to 10 speed. I'll probably save 1 or 2 of these, maybe even 3. And you guys can kind of see the rest of the gear that I have here as well. Let me go ahead and try to use, try to get a different piece so you guys can see it, well, you guys can kind of see. I have 5 legendary defense percentages. What? And I have 4 epics. You can see some I don't have any legendary. 4 epic on the accuracy, but that's pretty fair, I guess, considering where I am in Faction Wars and it's only been out a few weeks. We'll see how this gets or how far this gets me. You can see, as I said, I did use 1 speed glyph right here on this chest. It's a feral set. I mean, like, with a quad speed roll, it's a great piece of gear to go ahead and use it on. Moreover, I had no glyph on this before I did it, so it's just a straight up +9 on the speed, which was tremendous. I already know that this piece, a quad speed, it's not an accuracy set, but this is why we always level up our speed gear, right? Because you might get a quad roll. It's the, 7th fastest piece of gear on my account, and it's old school. I think this might have been my first quad roll. So when you get a quad roll on something, anything really, but especially speed, then you can go ahead and use your good speed glyphs or really good speed glyphs, or excuse me, very good glyphs in general, it doesn't have to be haste, on the rest of the stats too, because you already know this is a SSS tier piece of gear on your account, so we can go all in, right? Even though there's no rolls, obviously, on the rest of the stats. All right, so we already know we're gonna use this. We're gonna upgrade this 5. I mean, guaranteed we can get a 7 at least if we use one of our legendaries. Continuing to look here, we have accuracy, feral with a quad roll with a +6. Probably another strong contender. And then when we get to the second row here, my artifacts, then we get trip rolls. We're at trip rolls. So you can see all my quads or trip mythicals are the first row here. So in 5, almost 6 years of playing Raid Shadow Legends and spending in Raid Shadow Legends, spending on energy here and there, I've gotten 7 quads of speed on artifacts, not including the accessories. You think that's good or bad? Average, below average, above average? I have no idea. How many do you have? How many quad or trip mythical rolls do you have on your entire account? Would love to hear from you guys. Let's go ahead and use some of this stuff, right? So we have a +7 here, and my fastest piece is protection, which I do actually use a lot in the arena now, from Sify to the Queen of Navarre. I can't pronounce. Oh man, it's something that it's embarrassing, but you guys caught me in the moment, right? Is like when you can't pronounce a champion's name sometimes. I notice other creators do this sometimes. You just kind of avoid. You're like, oh yeah, the Spear of Nyresia, you see, that one. Naime. I know it's like some Irish name that's pronounced nothing like it looks, but I can't remember what it was. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sure Osama will add it in the edits.
We are looking at how to pronounce Neve. Yes, this name has been anglicized with a different spelling now. All of this is pronounced the same way, Neve. Neve. Pretty straightforward. Neve.
Anyway, 9-piece protection on her is just busted. One of the most busted things in the game right now. So let's go ahead and use these haste glyphs, guys. What do you say? It's already been a banger of a freaking video, if I do say so myself, getting the mythical relic. All right, 7 to 12. Here we go. Boom. 10. I'll take it. Now, I wanted to mention something too. It's not on a speed booster, this piece, but I could easily use it, and I will use it on speed boosters in the future. So again, we're looking less at the champion here. The spear of Nyresa, Naime, she doesn't need to be the fastest champion on my account, but this piece, I know I'm going to be using not on her forever, right? So just wanted to point that out here, because she would not be the ideal, champion to be going the fastest. Speaking of the ideal champion to be going the fastest, we will go ahead and go to Lazarius's shield here. We're going to upgrade this quad roll, and it's going to be amazing. All right, here we go. 7 to 12, we know it's going to be guaranteed something big. 8. If you're curious on his speed right now, it's 456 speed. I saw that Tyraku uploaded a 550 speed Shuzen. Oh my God. Oh my God. 550 speed. That is nuts. All right, I have another piece on Lazarius, his shield. I have a quad rebirth. This is actually my most recent quad roll on my account. I'm going to go ahead and try to get an upgrade from this 6 roll. Here we go. Give me a 10. I'll take an 8. I'll take an 8. It's interesting how it says max still at 8 when we know that's not the max anymore, right? Plarium, fix your game. Unplayable. Is there any other piece of gear that's like lousy? I didn't notice any. In terms, ooh, a 6 right here. It is a speed set. Honestly, it's a great piece. Crit rate is not usually in vogue in endgame, but crit rate with a crit damage and a trip speed on a speed set, yeah, it's pretty good. Speed plus 6 here too, and another speed. Woo! And then we already tackled the. So I want to go back and I want to do as I say. I want to practice what I preach, and I want to take another look at my best gear. Right? I want to take another look. We'll use a couple more glyphs here. Hopefully, at the very least, my intention was going to be maybe we just do like another artifact strategy video, but I thought it might be fun to do it in the context of the glyphs, of the faction wars rather. All right, we did the speed. What am I doing over here? We don't need anything here. All right, so let's look at the rest of the gear here. I noticed, look at this one right here. Look at this one. Again, we're going with we're not looking at the champion too much here. We're looking at the number 5 to 10. Give me a 10. Oh, I'm raging. All for 2 speed. Oh, that was painful. That was painful, but it was the right decision. All right, so we skyrocketed that weapon to the 3rd fastest on the account. All right, what else do we have here? We have a 6. It is Crixia. Crixia, I want fast anyway, so that's worth considering. I want to use one more, and I want to save the rest. This Savage weapon is great. It would be a good, strong contender with a +4 here on a quad roll, essentially. But it's not the best weapon, There's no crit rate. There's a little bit of crit damage. It's on Allah's right now, one of my strongest defensive-based nukers. And I don't need Allah's. I mean, faster the better on everybody in this game, but I don't need him to be the absolute fastest. So this is a situation where, again, I am ranking, sure, who it's on, but also the piece of gear. I'm not going to have my speed boosters in a speed set, so I'm not going to use my epic on this piece specifically, right? But I could actually upgrade this using just an old school 3 to 8. I'm just going to save it right now because I don't want to. You never want to catch yourself without any speed glyph, right? You get a good quad or trip speed roll. You want to make sure you can use it, right? Oh, apparently I used another one right there. Oops. All right, Armons. Yep, we can always use a faster Armons, right? Arbiter. Okay, we have a quad on Arbiter too there, I guess. Or close to. All right, we get speed here. Kind of dipping down a little bit low into like all really good speed gear, but nothing that's super obvious. Marichka, she's got a +6. I'm really looking for a 5 here that can really bump up. There's a nice weapon here with a 6, and then we get a 7, and then we get an 8, and then we get a 6. Nothing is jumping out at me here, guys, other than these pieces right here, right? The 6 and the 6. But honestly, the right move is not to use them yet, right? I want to wait. I don't want to burn everything that I've got. So you saw what I've been able to acquire. But I think right now, what did I pick up? 458 speed. You know what? I'll be real with you guys. We're 25 minutes, 27 minutes into the video. I thought like we were going to use so many speed glyphs and I was going to get like +30 speed. Not really 30, but like 10 or something, 20, something pretty significant. And it was like, what, 5 speed to our fastest champion? But at the very least, you have an awareness of what I was able to get in a pretty limited amount of time in terms of glyphs on my entire account. How best to use them, how to identify your best gear, how to think about who's going to be wearing the gear, how to factor in the set of your best gear when using glyphs. And the same thing, by the way, we've been talking about haste glyphs, but the same thing applies to other stats as well, right? It's not just about the haste. It's also about, okay, think about the champion that we're using. For example, like right before I let you go, Star Sage Galathier, right? We want him to be, where the heck are you? Or a nuker. Let's just go with a nuker. Let's go with Siegfried, right? We want Siegfried. We want to look at the attack percentage that he has on him, and we can use the same strategy, basically, the same thought process in going in there and, you know, turning our best nukers and our best pieces and upgrading. Maybe we upgrade a piece from another champion, and then we hand it to Siegfried, our best nuker, our best attack-based champion. Same with best defense-based champions, right? So look at your gear in its totality. I can repeat this exercise, but I don't want to just immediately go to a champion and say, I love Mikage, I'm going to upgrade this piece. Boom. Look at your gear in its totality when you're upgrading. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Thank you for watching till the end. Much love. And as always, take care, guys.